We're excited to be at home and play Texas A&M in our stadium. I think our players are going to come into the game with a lot of confidence and eagerness to get back on the field. Certainly feel like we'll have a great crowd, and it'll be exciting to see how we do. And offensively, we're going to have to score points. There's no question about that, and it's a great challenge for our defense.
All right, we'll begin with Travis Brown of KBTX.
Hi, Bobby. Just what is your initial memories about your time at Texas A&M and just playing in this game against them?
Well, I had a great time when I was down there, and there's quite a few players back. There's obviously a lot of new ones, but my thoughts on Arkansas A&M always put you in Dallas, so it's nice to be able to play here in Arkansas. Never got to do that. We always played in Dallas. I think it'd be a good thing now to be able to play in Arkansas and at Texas A&M.
Yeah, and it just seems like in this series, no matter what the records were, what's going on, it was always close and competitive. What was it about this series that always made the game so competitive?
Well, I think one of the things was the fact that you played at a neutral site, and half the crowd was one school, half the crowd was the other. We're hoping this gives us a home field advantage. Certainly, I've watched A&M play 5 of their 6 games at home, and certainly the crowd played into those. So we need our guys to come out and be loud and give our defense an advantage.
Thanks.
Next will be Jackson Fuller of the Southwest Times.
Hey, Bobby. Going to follow up from Monday when we asked you about your thoughts on maybe your first home game here as interim coach and roaming the sidelines, running out of the A. What have you thought since Monday about that?
I knew I was forgetting something, and I forgot to think about it. Just been focused on practice, really, and getting our players prepared and ready to go. It's been great on the video study that we've done with the staff, and then the practice schedule with our players. I feel like we'll be ready to go.
They have obviously a ton of weapons, but Mario Craver stands out. I mean, what's kind of the key to limiting him? Do you have to really, really focus on him as an individual? Is it just something you can't do that too much because other guys can then get open? How do you go about limiting Craver as the wide receiver?
Well, we need to know where he is every play. We need to do a good job of trying to disrupt his routes. He's very quick and explosive, and does a great job of catching the ball, run after the catch. So we're going to have to make sure we're in vicinity to tackle and do a good job there. But they do have a lot of other weapons, so it isn't like you can just focus on one guy.
Next will be Alex Miller of the Bryan College Station Eagle.
Hey, Bobby. When you were at A&M, Marcel Reed was pretty down the depth chart, and now he's A&M's guy. Just what do you remember about him that one season you were at A&M, maybe on the scout team, and what have you seen from him on tape as you've studied A&M this season?
Yeah, well, Marcel came in as a true freshman and wasn't one of the guys that graduated mid-year, so we just got him in June. And he had a lot of offense to learn and a lot of adjustment to the SEC football. But he always had a great attitude and a smile on his face, and loved being in the meeting room, loved being out at practice. You could see his natural leadership ability. I think he's a really good quarterback, and we've got a tremendous challenge in trying to keep him in the pocket and keep him surrounded, and then being able to stop his ability to run.
And A&M's had quite a bit of success on defense, especially in these SEC games. Just what have you seen from this unit in these SEC games as you've studied them?
Well, they play together as a unit. Their front linebackers and secondary are all tied together in what they do, and very, very well coached and play with great effort. And that usually gives you a good defense and a challenge for us.
Thank you, sir.
Next will be Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hey, Bobby, you kind of touched on this a moment ago about the series being in Arlington, which is where it was when when you were the coach here, do you have a preference to play them on campus? And also, second part of that, scheduling at Arkansas, you've only had 2 games on campus through the midway point of the season. Is it just tough with formerly the Arlington thing and then the Little Rock factor involved?
Yeah, I think, now that we're in the same conference, it makes sense to play at home and away, not in Dallas. I thought that was a great deal when we were in different conferences, and to play at a neutral site and play in the most beautiful stadium in the world. We all really loved it. And our players, you sit there and look at that scoreboard that runs from the 20 to the 20, and it's a great experience. So that was a huge success. But once you're now are in the same conference, it just makes sense for both schools to play home and home.
And then on the fumbling, do you ever just chalk some up to the guy made a great hit or a great strip, or are they all avoidable? And how much have the fumbles impacted y'all's results this year?
They certainly have impacted our results. When you're in a position to go down and win the game and turn the ball over, that's a huge impact for us. Some of it is carrying the ball properly, being able to chin the ball and lock with the other arm. And certainly a couple of them were just really good plays by the defensive player who, they make good plays too.
Next is Trey Biddy of Hog Sports.
Hey, Coach, I was wondering what you see with A&M in terms of the pressure that they get. They're one of the best teams in the conference in terms of getting to the quarterback and TFLs and also getting off the field on third down.
Yeah, the challenge is they do it in a number of ways. They can do it with the 4-man rush. They do it with bringing a 5th guy. Sometimes they overload you. So it's an extensive package that they have. We're going to have great communication. The good thing is we are at home, so we should do a good job of that. But it's a challenge just preparing for everything that they do.
I was wondering on your end, when you're coming up with the play calls on offense, like how far ahead are you thinking? Down after down, and are you bouncing ideas off of somebody, Morgan in the booth or something, or how does that work exactly for you? Are you in your own mind the whole time?
Yeah, most of the ideas and bouncing things off come in between series. So as you go back through the previous series, you're thinking, okay, this is what we got going. We did this off of this front, this motion, this formation. How do we benefactor from what we previously did? But once you start rolling and you're out there on the field and moving, it just flows.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Coach, we'll finish you up with Andrew Hutchinson of the Best of Arkansas Sports.
Yeah, Coach. Coach Elko announced earlier this week that Le'Veon Moss is going to be out with an injury. I'm just curious, how much does that change for y'all preparing on defense for A&M, if at all?
Well, I feel bad for him. He was a young man that I was pretty close with, and we had a great relationship, and he's battled that before. So I do feel really bad for him. He was playing really well. He's a great player, extreme talent. But they have a number of backs that carry the ball and run with it, and they do pretty much the same thing with who's ever back there running the football. So we've just got to defend what their tendencies are and how they like to run the ball.
And you mentioned, there are several guys on the team that you remember from your time there at A&M. Is there any advantage for that, like having a familiarity with their personnel?
I think there's some advantage to knowing them. They've all changed a little bit. They've all gotten bigger and stronger and more experienced. So they're playing really well. They're playing at a high level right now.
Coach, thank you.